Hello, friends from around the world. My name is G,
I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the new releases for collected editions for February 2023. Hector and we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see here today are those that we can sell internationally in that market. And if you didn't follow our social media, this is the time to do it. I'll be sure to link our the in the description below. So check us out at PRH International Comics, where you'll see our news and updates on those platforms. Aside from YouTube, we're on all social medias. Just so that you are aware, you may see titles that you've seen previously in our videos, and that's likely because of like it's industry-wide. There are production delays that are happening in the background, so you might see those titles repeated here. But we're super excited to see them on this list as well. And we'll get started here on our favorite picks for the month of February. And then we'll go over some of the highlights. And then we'll continue on with the rest of the list that you could look through on these slides here. So let's go ahead and get started here.
And first pick is mine. It's Marvel Snapshots by Kurt Busiek. There's a lot of artists involved in this. So this is and back in 2020, Marvel started this line of comics where it wasn't really a series, but it's like feature one shots that feature different characters, and they would have stories that would range from back in the 1950s, 70s, whatever, all the way. I mean, the characters were in the 1950s, but like characters when they were like in World War II to present day, and each one shot feature one character, but the story is from the eyes of regular people around those characters. So Dee and I have talked about this before. We talked
Mhm.
about my pal Jimmy Olsen. We talked about other ones that are series where you see that, where you see the secondary characters kind of show their point of view of a story. So I love this concept, and this collects all of those that came out. There was Fantastic Four, there was Captain America, X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man's. There was a Civil War one, and Captain Marvel, and Submariner. Obviously, that was the very first one they started with. So I'm really excited to see this. The art in it is amazing. There's different, like I said, different creators involved, both for the stories and the art. So it's a very, very cool collection, and it's coming out February 21st.
All right, for my next pick here, we have Naira and the Jinn. This is by Eastman Omar Atta and illustrated by the same creator here. This is a story about Naira, who has very strict parents, who is being bullied from classmates. She has tension with her friend Rami, who is like the only other Muslim girl at school. And so like there's so many things going on with her life, and she's pretty much had enough of it, to the point where she's considering transferring schools. But then this mysterious jinn appears, whose name is Marjan. And being from Islamic folklore, Marjan uses their powers to help Naira navigate her overwhelming life. But there are issues that happen. So the jinn, Marjan, must face their own secrets, their own guilt from their own past, and must face that, or else Naira could pay the price of it. And as you can imagine, having the Jinn face their own issues, you'll have the main character also considering and reflecting on her own life. And so, really cool story. The art is amazing in this one, very beautiful. So, this is something that you should definitely check out.
Yes. Looks very, very cool.
Yeah.
Next up is Fragmentation, written by Mark Guggenheim and art by Benny LaBelle. This is a very cool concept from a very cool author. Um, First, I'm going to start with the story. It's like fragmentation. It's basically there are times in history kind of blending in with the present that just coming on, and the main character is running around trying to save his family and kind of get them away from disaster, from the underworld that's happening through this, uh, you know, events that are coming on, and you see some of the events there on the like the Second World War, Pearl Harbor, some of the things that happened. Now, I do want to talk about Mark Guggenheim. This is a story. Obviously, we expect a lot of like really cool illustrations, like you see in the cover here, but also the story. We know it's going to be action packed, and we know it's going to be great because it's Mark Guggenheim, and he's very known for he uh, he created the show that he wrote the beginning of the show Arrow, and he also wrote for, sorry, I'm going through my list, Legends of Tomorrow. Uh, he also wrote a few movies, and but to me, especially because he's one of the producers, executive producers for Tales of Arcadia, the Guillermo del Toro animated kind of universe of Troll Hunters and some of the others in Netflix, which I love. So this amazing creator now has this amazing concept, and he himself described it this way. I have a quote from him. It says, "With Fragmentations, we try to create the comic book equivalent of a Christopher Nolan feature film with a simple story of a family at its core." So definitely something that I'm looking forward to, and I think it's going to be extremely cool. This is from Dark Horse, and of course, coming in February.
All right, next up we have Never Satisfied. This is volume one by Taylor Robin. This is a story about, well, actually, before I go into the premise here, just for some background, this started as a web comic, so now we have this being come out in this trade paperback collected edition. And the main character, Lucy, really wants to become the city representative. And there's a competition to become the new city representative. And there are 8 people, young apprentices, who are vying for a spot with their animal familiar. And you'll see Lucy's animal familiar as well. So I love like magical magician tournament competitions. You're going to get that here. And we have behind the scenes corruption with like officials who want their contestant to win, sort of machinations behind the scenes. And Lucy, who really wants this position to prove to everyone that they're not a waste of space and that they're valuable in society. So, really wants this position. But it's a matter of, as they're going through this journey, is it really worth it? Because being a city representative has this like ideal image of what that entails. Uh, but it turns out to be a little bit different from what they expected that role to be. And so you get to follow that journey and this story. This is so interesting because like this is coming out of Seven Seas, and it's like it's like a unique type of story visually. It's beautiful as well, and this is something that I'm incredibly excited about. Mhm.
Yeah, looks also amazing.
Yeah.
The next up is Ashes by Alvaro Ortiz. Alvaro is a amazing cartoonist, extremely well known in Spain. This is his first graphic novel, and it's for the first time translated into English. And this is a story about 3 friends, Polly, Mojo, and Peter, who haven't seen each other in a lot of years, and they have to come together and go on a road trip to this X marked on a map, which is a mysterious place we don't know about at the beginning. And throughout the trip, you kind of the story unfolds, and you kind of start to get to know the characters, got to know the reasons why they haven't been together for so long, and the purpose of the trip. But in the in the trip and on the road, they also encounter all these crazy. I don't know if I should call them adventures, but sure, adventures. And they are in car chases. There's alcohol, a lot of alcohol, roadside motels. There's banjo playing thugs. There's a ship graveyard. There's violence, sexual tension, and for some reason, a monkey is also involved. So it's a very very cool story. It's one of those where you have crazy things happening around such a very deep and dramatic story about friends and friendship, and how time kind of you know kind of degrades friendship unless you really take care of it. So and Alvaro Ortiz, like I said, is such a big name in cartoons in Spain, and I love that we're finally getting something translated in English, this graphic novel, so people in the U.S. and around the world can get to know him. Yep.
All right, and my next pick had to include this. This is
Yes.
Skull Cat, Book One, Skull Cat and the Curious Castle. This is by Norman Shirtliff. And this is about Scully, who is so excited to start his new job, prove himself to be a great gardener, even though the castle is very creepy and scary. He'll do his best to be the best gardener that he could possibly be. But then, like, he goes to his like first day at work, and he was like, "Where's all my coworkers? Where did they go? Like, why is it empty here?" So it's a matter of um, this journey of, can Scully, the scaredy cat, have courage to become this hero and uncover this mystery of his missing coworkers. This is like so much fun. Like adults can enjoy it, middle grade, like younger audiences could enjoy it as well. Those who love like fantasy and spooky adventures, this one's for you.
Yeah. Kind of
And
reminds me a little bit to one that you and I were talking about that we are getting really into. It's Kanto. It kind of reminds me to that vibe a little bit.
yeah, Kanta's great,
Yeah.
by the way, everyone.
We'll talk
um,
about Kanto in another video.
yeah. I
I'm
can
sure.
like talk about Kanta all the time. So
Yes.
check it out.
Yeah.
So that's for our picks, but we're
Mhm.
gonna go into some other titles that we wanted to highlight. So I'll move on here.
Yes. So I get started here, and we have
Mhm.
four more titles to highlight for February, collected editions. And the Batman Detective, and this is a trade paperback edition of this by Tom Taylor. Batman the Imposter, by Mattinson Tomlin. Sorry, I don't have my glasses, so I can't read. uh, the DC Universe by Dwayne McDuffie. And then we have the amazing Fables 20th anniversary box set, which looks so beautiful. It is extremely beautiful.
Yeah, that box set is really cool looking.
Yes, extremely.
All right, and we're gonna continue on. We have Planet Hulk Omnibus. This is Greg Pak. We have uh, the standard but cover, but then we have the direct market cover as well. We have Immortal Iron Fist, the Immortal Weapons. This is Ed Brubaker, and as you can see, we have a very cool direct market cover here as well. And
And then we continue with Iron Man Volume 4, Source Control. This is by Christopher Cantwell. And Kill Lock, The Artisan Wraith by Livio Ramondelli. And we have Mighty Marvel Masterworks, the Captain Marvel Volume 1, The Coming of Captain Marvel by Roy Thomas. We have a regular, trade cover, and then we have a direct market exclusive cover on the right.
mhm. And then we have Mind MGMT. I love Matt Kent's stuff, his work. So we have
Yes.
Bootleg here. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game opening moves by various creators, as you'll see here. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection, Volume 7. You have Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And then, if you haven't heard, Netflix is going to come out with the Archies. So, in preparation for that for the upcoming year, you may want to stock up on the Archies in India, as you'll see here. That's going to come out in February.
And we continue with Usagi Yojimbo, the Green Dragon. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I think it just started early. We're just gonna roll through this
Yes.
and show you the rest of the list here that is also coming out in February. So take a look, enjoy as we roll through this.
Yeah.
And definitely comment down below if there are other picks that you like.